Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amalia, and so today, oh ya Allah, kabar tidak ada telepon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. So today, my name is Rizma Sahada. I want to presenting material about Elizabeth and William Shakespeare. So I'm gonna start my presentation by let you to look at my next slide. Next slide, please. So, slide about Elizabethan era. The Elizabethan era is named after the greatest queen of England, Queen Elizabeth I, who ruled England in 1558 and 1603. With this era is one of the most famous fascinating period in British history. This period also is the golden age of England because of the great exploration, classic ideals, and international expansion and naval victory over Spain. Next slide, please. So this slide about Elizabethan literature. Elizabethan literature became glorious when Queen Elizabeth I ruled England. The literary works produced in Elizabethan period is famous, and the existence of the literary work can be seen until nowadays. In this period, there are so many literary works such as a lyric poetry and prose, the sonnet and drama, which are produced by famous artists, especially the plays and poems of William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare is a literary figure known as throughout the world. Next slide. The next is English Renaissance Theatre. English Renaissance Theatre, also known as early modern English theatre, this refers to the theatre of England between 1562 and 1642. The Elizabethan era is perhaps most famous for its theatre and the work of William Shakespeare. English Renaissance theatre began with the opening of the Red Lion Theatre in 1567. Next slide. So here we will talk about the main feature on an Elizabethan theater. The first is the theater was open and play had to be performed in daylight. And the second is a flag would be flown from the top of theater to show a play was going to be performed. The third is people sat around the stage in a galleries. This word is the cheapest place was in front of the stage where ordinary people stood. They were known as this thing like as groundlings. The next is there was very little scenery. A character will tell the audience where the scene was at. And the next is women's part will play by boys. And the next is long speech, give actor a chance to change their clothes. And the last is there was generally plenty of violence in the place, so their audience love it. Next slide, please. So the next slide, it will about William Shakespeare life. William Shakespeare, known as the greatest English language playwright and world renowned playwright. He was born in Stratford, England, April 1564, and he also died on 23 April 1616. Stratford in United Kingdom. William is the third child of 8 children family that live in Stratford, and his father is a tradesman and glove maker. He is a playwright and dramatist and also a poet. He is widely regarded as the greatest writer in English literature. He is married with Anne Hathaway and has 3 children. They are Susanna, Judith, and Hamnet. Shakespeare died on April 23, 1616, on his 52nd birthday. He was buried at Trinity Church in Stratford as an honorary citizen. Next slide, please. So this is the last slide about this material. It will about Shakespeare career. Actually, William Shakespeare, he already wrote 150 sonnet and 2 long poems, and also he already wrote 37 plays. Most of his sonnets were written between 1592 until 1594 because the theater were closed due to the Black Plague. And the next is, by the time he was 32, he was considered to the best writer of comedy and tragedy. He died on his the last is he died on his 52 birthday in April 23, 1616. I think enough from my presentation. Thank you, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.